Hi, it's Karen again from Creative Junk Therapy. Today we're going to make a beach tile out of travertine tiles. I'll show you all the materials you need and you can follow along. Here's some examples of what we're going to do. These are three different versions. One with a little umbrella, some with just a little paint, and these are made with travertine tiles. So I'll show you the supplies we need. Here's an example of some of these supplies. You can add or subtract anything you want. As you can see from these, it's just basically paint. We did make a little lawn chair from some leftovers we had. If you have something that you can use, then that would work too. But basically it's just a blue paint, sand. These little flip-flops here are just little pieces of foam. The beach ball is what we're going to use these little beads for. But you can elaborate as much as you want. We do have like little, what are these, seashells, and we put little pearls in them. So whatever you happen to have laying around, this is just a piece of ribbon that we had, so you might be able to use that. So whatever you have laying around, that'll work. First we'll go ahead and start to paint them. Okay, so for painting the water, there's no real rules. I'm going to use this end here because it's got this big cavern in it, if you can see that. I'm going to use that for my little umbrella to stick in, whoops, so that I have a hole, and then it'll be able to stand up on its own. So this will end up being my water section over here. So if, for those of you who live in Florida, you understand that the water, as it goes out in the ocean, gets a little darker, and then as it comes closer, it's going to end up getting a little bit lighter as it gets towards the shore. I'm probably going to end and make my beach somewhere in this area. There's no rule. You can do whatever you want to with it. You could also do it sideways if you prefer to do it sideways. I'm going to go ahead and do this one long way so you get more ocean, but you can choose to do it either way you want to. So I'm going to start with the darker blue. And I'm going to double dip because I like to double dip because I feel like it's cooler. You get cooler variations. And when you paint, this is all travertine tile. It was left over from when we did the kitchen. And it's nice and porous, but you don't necessarily want to just paint it on because you want variations in how it spreads over the tile. So I dab it in so it gets all in the nooks and crannies, all in the holes, and fills everything nice. So you feel like there's variations in the water. Okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It actually looks better when it's imperfect. Imperfection is the thing that actually makes things look more natural. So it's better if you just embrace imperfection. I know I say it a lot, so you can make fun of me all you want. I look forward to it. Okay, so now once we start getting closer into the shore, we're going to bring in a little bit of a lighter color. Now I didn't rinse my brush because I want it to blend those two colors together. So I want a little bit of that dark on there as I bring the light color into it because it'll naturally try and blend itself in. Okay, and then I'm going to bring the lightest color way at the very far front. Again, trying to get that teal color. And then we'll put our waves on last, but that should be good. That'll give us enough room for our beach. And when you make your coastline, you don't want it to be straight across. Very few things in the world are straight like that. So you're going to want to try and keep it cattywampus. That's a thing. It was a word. I had a bet with my husband. It wasn't a word, and it is a word. That or it's a southern word, and they made it up down here. I don't know if it was real and they made it up, or if it became real because they made it up. But either way. Okay, so we have our water, nothing spectacular. Now you can wait till this dries a little bit just to get a little bit of a, so you don't end up blending your waves into the water just yet. So we can work on our beach ball. Our beach ball, you have a choice. You can either do it large or small. Based on the size of our umbrella, if I do this beach ball, that would be significantly larger than the umbrella. So that'd be one of those giant beach balls. So if we do one of these little pearl guys, he's a little bit more reasonable. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do him. So let me get the markers and I can go ahead and color him. You can do them with paint, but I'm going to go ahead and just do them with markers. Okay, so you can see this is a little trick. I just used the end of the umbrella to hold my little bead, and then I colored it to look like a little baby beach ball. So that will end up being my little baby beach ball. We'll set them off to the side for now. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and glue them on. I'm going to guess. I have my trusty hot glue over here, You can use anything you want. It does not need to be hot glue. I just, for simplicity and for sake of being quick, I will go ahead and use hot glue. I know it's not always the best thing to use, but for this, it goes in a jiffy, and you don't have to worry about it. Won't roll away on you. But you do end up with those cool spiderweb things. Okay, so for our waves aren't that complicated. You just have to have a gentle hand. I have a smaller brush that I can use for them too, whichever one works best for you. This one's actually seems a little too pointy, so I'm going to stick with my first guy. Okay, so I want to dab that off so most of the water's gone. It's still got a little blue in it, but it's not going to hurt anything. So I want it nice and frayed. If you can see that, it's nice and fluffy. So I want to grab a little bit of the white, and I'm going to dab most of that off. I don't want this to be very strong. I can always add more, but you can't take it away. So I'm just dabbing it off so that most of the paint is gone, and I just have a little bit of an impression on there. So I want it to be dry. Okay, so for the ocean waves, right along the coastline, and you notice my coastline is very, very crooked. You want to get the splash, but you don't want it to be perfect. So you just want to dab it on. You want that little bit of a softness so it looks like a little bit of a spray. I'm still getting a little bit of blue in there, but that's okay. It'll cover up. I can go on and do a second coat. Grabbing just a little bit more paint because I'm not seeing much white. There it goes. That's a little better. But the idea is that you want that soft fluffiness on the end. And you don't necessarily need to do it all the way across the edge. You want it thinner in some areas and thicker in others, because when you look at the water in the ocean, it always breaks a little bit differently. So you don't want it to necessarily all be one uniform type. Okay, so we got that. We're going to put a couple little waves in the ocean. We don't need very many. Again, these need to just be small. Normally when you're looking at the ocean, and I'll show you from the ocean side, it ends up being a little bit flat. And again, I'm just touching very lightly. And you want to avoid making arches. For some reason, every time we try and paint these, and even clouds, they end up being these weird arches. So stay away from the arches. Okay, again, you want it frayed so it looks like a wave's coming down. And along the edges, you want it to taper off and get a little bit thinner. Like that. Okay, so a little bit fluffy in the middle, and a little bit thinner. Get a little close so you can see that. Okay, so I'm going to stick another one over here just so we have a second one. It's a fairly wavy day. I'm on the East Coast. We're over in the Tampa area, so we don't get a lot of waves. We do get some on occasion, but nothing fun that you can go ride. You can sometimes get just a surfboard and bodyboard on them, but that's about it. Nothing too extraordinary. Okay, there's a few waves. That's good enough. We don't need anything big in there. If you want to get adventurous, you can do maybe a silhouette of a shark or a turtle or something like that. I'm going to use a little bit of my green, and I'm going to make a little baby turtle, like over here in the shallows. And I'm just going to make something that looks like it. Not too many people would, come up and hold me to it, but, some will say, no, that doesn't look right. Well, that's fine. It's not quite dark enough, but it's okay. It's close enough. Just want the impression there's some creature in there. This is the reason why people don't like to go in the water, because they never know what's in the water. You never know if there's a creature. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm painting off camera. Do that a lot, okay? Nothing extraordinary, just a little shadow. And you'd have to look pretty close to be able to see it, but you see kind of a little shadow, and you know that there's something in the water. There's something there. Okay, so we have that. Okay, and if you want to do, so like I said, I have this little beach towel, and he's nothing, he's just a ribbon, and he's kind of big for my beach, so I'm going to go ahead and cut him down, make him a little thinner. And I'm going to try and fray the end so that it's kind of got that little beach towel look. I don't know if it'll work on the ribbon, but we'll try. Try and just kind of pull off the loose threads and see if I can get it to fray a little bit. No, it doesn't look like it's going to do that. That's fine. It'll be fine the way it is. Let me straighten up the bottom. Not quite as crooked. Fabulous. There's a lovely beach towel. And we're going to put them over here because my umbrella is going to go there. Again, my trusty hot glue hiding over here off to the side. And then my umbrella. Okay. And these are you can use these in cocktails as well. So if you get tired of it, and actually some of the people that did the class yesterday went through and they used them, they made these as coasters. And that's a great idea. You can go through, maybe coat something on them so in case they get wet it doesn't run off, but these would make great coasters. Travertine is a great option for being able to make coasters. Again, I am looping it up with some hot glue so that he stays in place, and voila, we have a little beach tile. Okay, got the little umbrella and the beach chair on there. And again, if you have some shells or anything like that, you can make several of them, line them up. You can have an entire coastal scene, but there's your little mini beach. I hope you enjoyed this and see you again soon. Thank you for supporting Creative Junk Therapy.